Hey guys, it's been a while. How are you? You guys know I'm a big solo traveler. I love the thrill of freedom and new experiences, but I'm also a big planner. All my excitement is underlined by a crippling anxiety about uncertainty and just a debilitating fear of missing out. But this time I decided to solo travel in Xi'an completely unplanned. If you've never heard of Xi'an, it's one of the most sought-after tourist destinations in China, capital of 13 ancient dynasties, home of the UNESCO World Heritage Terracotta Warriors, and for any lucky New Yorkers out there, origin of the Xi'an famous foods. I literally had no plans. I knew the day I would arrive, I knew the day I would leave, and I booked the cheapest hotels on the Marriott Bonvoy app, with points of course, and the next thing I knew, I found myself on the best trip of my life. Actually, the best trip of my life was... They've upgraded me to a suite. If you are a Bonvoy points ho like I am, this setup was 7,000 points. Can I live here, please? So, I was trying to figure out what to do for tonight, and here's a plan. I don't have a plan. I basically just bookmarked a bunch of attractions in downtown Xi'an, which, God, there's a lot, and I found a bunch of really amazing bars. I'm starving. Somehow that's always the reason why I do things. So I took the subway to a stop where restaurants are densely concentrated and was greeted by 50 shades of injured gray. This is Zhong Bell Tower, a gem of Xi'an in its full glory. This is what people come to Xi'an for, and I'm just not gonna be able to see it. Fear not. Remember, we're here for food, and food we shall not miss out on, or shall we? I'm also trying to get over overeating on trips. Just like you have this fear of missing out on attractions, my strongest fear is actually missing out on food. So I actually end up just eating way more than I should whenever I go travel, to the point where like it makes me uncomfortable. I don't want it to be like that this time. Right now I'm going to a noodle place to get some biang biang noodles. I know it sounds really weird, but this is the birthplace of biang biang noodles. I'm just going to the restaurant to go for that particular kind of noodles. I will just savor that one bowl of noodles. It's kind of a hole in the wall kind of situation. That's my noodles. Delicious, glorious, gigantic bowl of noodles.
I've been feeling so down, yeah. Can you tell me why? Can you tell me why I'm down, yeah. No friends of mine around.
I don't know if it's a common problem or if I'm just too uptight, but whenever I visit a new city, there are many things I tell myself I have to do because they're only available in that particular city. It's an experience with an expiration date that I have to beat. But this trip was different. This time I granted myself freedom to do whatever I wanted to do. So after dinner, I just walked around the area and skipped through some tourist attractions I did not care about. Gulou, the Drum Tower, and Hui Min Jie, the Muslim Quarter, which is a famous street food market, but at the time seemed more like an anxiety-provoking display of people. I also had to pretend to get on the subway to get rid of unwanted company. Turns out when you're a girl traveling alone, people mistaken your politeness for some sort of disguise for loneliness. I think next time I'll just say, please leave me alone. I also gave myself permission to get Starbucks. No, I don't always have to go to a quirky local coffee shop. Starbucks cafe makes me happy, so I didn't stop myself from consuming it. The night ended at a cigar bar. It's a strange thing to confess to the internet I did. Tobacco is bad, and this is probably the last time I'll do it, but I enjoyed myself in this low-light, vintage setup with movies playing on a projector and small bands of middle-aged real estate men boasting about adventures in their youths and then taking turns to throw up in a bathroom. I enjoyed confessing to the owner. I know nothing about cigar and don't have a big budget to splurge on. I literally asked for the cheapest whiskey. In return, he taught me how to smoke a cigar. You take a pull, hold the smoke in your mouth, wiggle your tongue inside, and then blow it out. You let go of the bulk part of the smoke because trying to take it all in will give you nausea. The beauty of it is missing out. First things first, my right eye is like really puffy. I don't know how it happened. I just woke up like this. It's already 1 p.m. I've just been procrastinating in bed all morning. A lot of people suggested that I go to the Terracotta Warriors, which is like the main attraction in Xi'an, but I was just like not feeling it. I for once want to not go to a tourist attraction because everybody says I should go, even if I don't really want to. Maybe it's okay to not do it, I don't know. So I think what I'm gonna do today is, I still don't really have a plan. I think I'm gonna head to my next hotel now and drop my luggage there, and after that I'm just gonna walk around, go to the old city wall in Xi'an, ride a bike there, maybe take a few Instagram pictures. Look how nice this is. I can't believe it's a courtyard. So I was just waiting to check in, and they told me there's this amazing bookstore literally right next door to the hotel. And so I just like, okay, I'm gonna come here and kill 20 minutes. And look at this. I'm running out of words to describe it, but like it's the coolest, most aesthetically pleasing mall of books. I could spend the next week here just being happy. These are the spontaneous things that just happen to you, and I feel like right now, because of the lack of expectations, I'm just so happy. I'm just so happy. I'm gonna stop talking and show you guys this heaven of a bookstore. This is called Narratives of History, and this entire aisle is basically all history books. The city of Xi'an is most famous for its history. For thousands of years, it's been the capital of China. So when you walk around the city, then you can see traces of ancient China, which is really, to be honest, not that common anymore in China. When I walk around in Xi'an, I kind of feel like it has the vibes of Beijing as a country's capital, and also it kind of has the vibes of Florence in the sense that history is just very well preserved in every alley and every lane of the city. About China, I've always had this lament that really a big part of our history is lost, is no longer practiced in everyday life because of the Cultural Revolution and this like vast adoption of the Western style of life. And in Xi'an, I feel like it's just a nice break from all that modernness. Not that there's a lack of modernness in Xi'an. Like, this bookstore is really a perfect embodiment of how history and modern life are perfectly combined. They already sent my luggage up, and again, like, how can this possibly be a courtyard? It's like you're used to getting shitty takeouts from Papa John's, and then once they get exported to China, they're like a proper sit-down restaurant. Anyways, I biked to Old City Walls. This is what I was talking about. History and metropolis all in one big harmony. Out of all places, I found myself walking on ancient walls at the birthplace of my culture, overlooking traffic, homes, solar-powered water heaters, and trashy bars, all in one big blur of existence. For 1 second, it felt like walking the High Line in New York. This kind of feels like the High Line of China, except that this is literally hundreds of years of history. Like that. And then the next second, it morphed into an old Hong Kong movie. And then I realized this is it. This is what Xi'an feels like. I just felt so happy for no reason other than just being here. Like, here I am, not checking off a list, not rushing to the next destination, just for once being present. That was the best walk I had taken all year. The day turned into night and I biked to this food hawker center kind of a place in a dazzling mall. I swear to foodie God, I had not felt so overwhelmed in my entire life. This is a compilation of countless local specialties, each offered at its own little kitchen stall, freshly prepared with gigantic traditional cooking equipments by local aunties. I almost fainted out of a mix of hunger and excitement and was just paralyzed by the sheer amount of choices. This was recommended by the cigar bar owner last night, and not many people there were actually tourists. I, for one, would not have been able to find it on my own. If you ever visit Xi'an, I have linked this restaurant down in the descriptions along with all the other places I visited. I left Xi'an the next day without seeing the terracotta warriors or the history museum or tasting half of Xi'an's famous foods. Will I ever come back to Xi'an and do all of those things I missed out on? I don't know, but you know what? I've learned that it's okay. If you really think about it, the world is so big, we're all gonna end up missing out on most of it. So what's the point of FOMO?
She stands on the sideline, dances slow and looks at me. She must be the sunlight.